I'm going to make veal Marengo. Traditionally speaking, it's used with veal stew meat, but there's no reason why we have to use that when you could use cutlets. So what I did was, and it's much faster too, we're using the basic ingredients for it, which is tomatoes, mushrooms, garlic, white wine, herbs, and chicken stock, which is hot in the back of the stove, or veal stock if you're so fortunate. So I cut up the pieces of veal like so, and if you notice the color on this veal, it could be much lighter, like plum de veau, nice, cost a little bit more money. So one supermarket was this way, and another one, I found one package of the nice light colored veal, which I use for something else. So the first thing I'm going to do is take my little salt and pepper mix. If you see the color on the salt in there, it's not pure white. That's great, because this is a good sea salt mixed with black pepper, less refined, and put some salt and pepper on that. Now, after you mix this up, just taste it. If it was chicken, I would say don't taste your finger, but you want to taste this and make sure you have seasoning on there, the salt and the pepper, and this cannot hurt you. Maybe the poultry items can, and then that's fine. As long as you taste like it's a bit salty, then we're in good shape. Next procedure is going to be saute the veal. Now I'm going to pour flour onto the veal and then shake it off and drop it into hot butter and oil mixture. Add the white wine. It's going to be very fast to cook this veal. And let it reduce a little. Put the stock. And then take everything out of the pan. Cook up the vegetables. And when the vegetables are done, we start off with the garlic, mushrooms, shallots. Usually they use onions, but I'm looking for a little different flavor. And green pepper is not for veal Marengo, but you know what? If you really love an item and you love the taste of it, you could throw it in. So we're not cheating too much. That's what cooking is all about. You can make something the traditional way and you could flip it around a little bit. So let's get started. As you see, I put the olive oil in there, and then we'll put some butter. This is if you use just straight butter, which you could, you'll wind up burning the butter. And there's nothing wrong with that, but we want to keep this. You can do it, that's it, period. But I'm not looking to do that. So I'm putting the butter and the oil together. Now quickly I have to get the flour. I'm using regular flour, and just enough to coat the veal, and the flour is also going to act with the butter and the oil that's in there like a roux. Now I think I put just the right amount where I don't have to be shaking too much off. And the flour also gives the veal a nice texture. You don't have to put the flour, but texture means a lot. Now I'm serving this, the reason I cut the pieces up like so, instead of leaving them larger, I'm going to serve this over pasta for dinner. And I will not be cooking the pasta right now, just making the veal dish. And there we go. I do not have to shake this off. Because it absorbed all the flour. Could have put a drop more, but it's going to work. Okay? Raise the flame up. Put the veal in there. And as we're cooking it, we're going to separate it. Like I said, it's not going to take long. And as this gets hot, it'll loosen up on its own, not on its own, but it'll loosen up a little easier. And I have a high flame. Use a non-stick. Good. This is almost a non-stick and it works very well. And of course this smells good because of the butter, and it gives it a nice taste too. As long as you hear that sizzling sound, that means you have enough heat. Like I said, it won't take long. But you have to keep moving it because you don't want some of the veal to cook and other veal to be undercooked. Now if I were to throw the vegetables in here, it would take too long for the vegetables to cook and the veal would be overcooked. So this is good, right where it is. And we're going to put the white wine, put the flame on high, get a cup of stock, have that ready. When that reduces, we're going to throw this in, and we want this to reduce quickly. It has picked up all the flavor. Now we're going to remove the veal because it will be overcooked. Take out the veal. But see, you do need a sauce for this dish, and that's what we'll be making now. And that veal is done. Nobody likes overcooked veal. I could have used a slotted spoon, but I had this in my hand and I go, well, I'm going to take one piece right now because I love the taste of the wine. And that's almost ready for the stock. One more second. I like to get a nice reduction. sometimes I have to let the film run just to show you how long it takes to do what it is. So this is one of those areas where you're getting a good idea of how long it takes to reduce. High flame. Now there's a lot of fat in there, so you know what I'm going to do? I'm not going to do what I said. I'm going to cook this. There's a lot of fat in there, and I'm going to put everything right in. Let the vegetables just cook up a little bit before I throw the tomatoes in there. Just will water it down. And we'll go with the dry oregano, and I'll put the fresh basil in a little later. That's working out well. You notice there's still plenty of fat in there from sauteing, and that's good. Now to quicken this, I'm going to put a lid on it. The steam stays inside. I'm not looking to get any color out of what's in there, and this will cook much faster. Meanwhile, a little piece of veal. I taste the wine. Now we'll put the two items. The tomatoes. I don't want to disintegrate the tomato, I want to see them. It looks good, it smells good. And we'll put the stock. And then I'm going to put the veal back in. And you see what happens to the sauce. See, it's kind of watery, but it has a little body to it. Now we'll take the veal that has all the flour on it. Now when I cook the pasta later, I'll drain it and never rinse it off, never ever rinse pasta off, and I'll toss it with a little olive oil so it doesn't stick together. I'll put it into a bowl, and then we will pour this on top. You don't want this thick, but you want it to have a little body. If you notice what's happening there. And the more you mix it, the more the flour that's on the veal gets a chance to get into that sauce and give it some more body. And you don't want a thick sauce because it's going on the pasta. And look how nice that is. And that's it. We're going to shut this off. We're going to take a look at it on a plate. We're going to taste it. Put the fresh basil. Take a spoon. Taste for final. Now I'm going to put some sriracha hot chili sauce in there. See the texture? The sauce? Just right, not watery, and it'll cling to the pasta, and that's what you want all the time. I like that. I'm not going to add any more seasoning to that. And now we'll look at it, how it looks on a plate. Now you could eat this by itself, just like this. But it really goes great. Well, you can have it on rice too. Nice. Get a different angle shot. Why are my hands shaking? The plate's hot. Anyway, I hope you enjoy it. Okay, so I lied. I have to finish this because I want to have some. So I found a little fettuccine, and there it is, just with some olive oil on it. Nice and al dente. That should be enough for me. And then I'm going to put a little chopped parsley on there. A little fresh chopped parsley. A little pecorino romano cheese. Did I say a little? And then right over that, so the heat is going to hit the cheese and melt it. Now looking at this, I would say this is enough for, depending on who's eating, 3 portions. 1, 2, 3. And that's it. Now I can sit down and enjoy myself, and you get a better idea of what it looks like when you serve it with pasta.